Somebody continued to push me, and I'm grateful to this day. Rather than just being a yes man and saying that you can do everything, to then find out that you can't.
In this video, we will be interviewing a solutions consultant for an investing accounting. We have Matt on call with us right now.
Yes, thanks so much for having me.
And the first thing we gotta ask, what is a solutions consultant?
It's a great question because I did not know before I started doing it. I honestly didn't even know this role existed. And to find out that it's an industry thing, like there's solutions consultants for many things. So a solutions consultant is, in other words, right? Not just saying a solutions consultant, but it's a pre-sales role, right?
Okay.
So what a solutions consultant does is, let's say person A is trying to sell something, right? Solutions consultant is going to be person B who's helping that process. So it's a specialist in the product that's trying to be sold, so that you can talk about all the benefits, how it's going to address the client's needs, and then allow person A to go back and sell it, right? So filling in the blanks and really adding value to how a product may be enhancing somebody's life.
Okay, awesome. Now, would you be able to give me like a simple real life example?
So let's say we have a door salesman, right? Who comes up and he's like, "Hey, I want to sell you some Windex."
But you automatically said Windex guy, and I started laughing. Okay,
right.
Okay, come on.
I'm gonna introduce you to my friend here. His name's Matt. Matt, show them what the Windex does, and I go over to the window and I find I do the white glove test. I'm like, oh, this is disgusting. We spray some Windex on there, clean it off. Just a tiny little, area for them to see the difference behind, hey, if you didn't use Windex, it would look like this. I have it on my finger. But we used Windex, and this is how clean it looks, right?
Oh,
so now
got you.
They're more inclined, oh my goodness, that made the house look so much better. Let's buy Windex. And now the salesperson who came to the door is ready to sell it to them.
Okay, got it. Check. Understand. Okay, so you are like the guy that kind of gives the extra support, the guns, the big. I guess I could say big guns, but you kind of give the extra support. You are what you just said, the specialist, right? Awesome. Thanks for explaining that, Matt, in that Windex example. Okay. I think if you shared another example, I would not have gotten it. Okay. To be honest. Okay. It's the Windex that helps. Okay.
The Windex. You can be a solutions consultant of anything, right?
Yeah.
I specifically work with investment accounting relationships. So
what exactly are you doing that's related to investment accounting?
Yeah, great question. I work on the software side of things. So I work for a property management software that actually has an investment accounting division of that platform. So what it does is it helps to facilitate any relationship from the property up to the owners who own that property, all the way up to those investors who maybe invest in a vehicle to do so. So that's what I'm doing.
I think if I'm understanding, your product is the software, right?
That's correct. Yep.
And then so you are trying to, I think the simple idea of it is you are trying to explain and advertise this type of software to those who are looking for a
solution.
Solution, that's right.
Yep.
Or solution specifically in accounting, or?
Yes. So the company that I work for is specifically real estate, but because with real estate, you're always going to have investors into real estate, and they may happen through several different vehicles.
Right.
So it is accounting in the grand scheme of things. It's an accounting platform.
let me ask, Matt, what does your day look like in this job?
Usually things take a bit of setup to orchestrate, right? So I'll do some prep and then demonstrations. So I may have
Mm,
anywhere from 3 to 5 demonstrations per day, and those will go 1 to 2 hours about.
wow, that's helpful. And so you said in the day you start off with some prep. What does the prep kind of look like?
Yeah, so prep might be putting together a client's scenario, right?
Mm,
In the database, showing how the software will address that. It
okay,
also might just be researching
okay,
who's going to be on the call, right? Hey, I'm going to be talking to accountants so I
mm,
can
yeah,
speak more into these functions rather than just the end result. Or maybe I'm not speaking to the accountants. So now I just want to see the reporting. So it kind of is setting me up for the day.
you said most of your time or most of your day is meetings, or do you have some downtime as well?
I have some downtime, but
Okay.
that's where prep kind of
Okay.
overlaps with downtime, because you're doing a lot of that. But a lot of what we do is also assisting others, who may be going through a certain situation. I can step in and talk to it because maybe I've gone through it before.
Do you feel like
Mhm.
you work a lot with other people in your company, or do you feel like it's mainly just you buckle down, do the research, jump in the meeting?
It's mixed. It's mixed.
Okay.
I would say it, one of the things that I love about my company is that it's very interactive. So I can always tap on somebody's shoulder for assistance if I need to, and vice versa. They can always tap on my shoulder. So I find that it's a mixed, you know, whether people are tapping on my shoulder or I'm tapping on their shoulder, and then prepping for demos, and then having the demos, and that's typically what it looks like.
Awesome, man. I feel like I'm getting it. I'm understanding it
Yeah.
already. It's fantastic. You're a great explainer. I imagine you would have to kind of present it to your boss before you actually go into a meeting. Is that right, or do you just jump in?
Yeah, so during the time where I was more so learning the product, understanding how to speak to it, and then, before I've ever presented to somebody, I had to go through that proof so that I
Okay.
could explain it to him correctly. And then he was like, green light, you can now show it to this easy case
Okay. And now, since now you've been in it for some time, how often do you typically meet with your boss?
per month. But that's on the one on one. But we also have a daily conversation with our
Mm,
little huddle group that we have. So the other solutions consultants that I work with, and then my
okay.
boss, to kind of run anything by him there as well. So he's always there as a resource, especially when the more complex scenarios come up.
That's great. I think I see the structure. So it seems like there is a little bit of autonomy
Mm-hmm.
as well. So it's not micromanaged by any chance.
No. Yeah.
No,
No.
great. And so are you working from 8 to 5 or 9 to 5, or what's kind of like the full day hours?
Yeah. So I work technically 7 to 4. So I work
Okay,
Eastern time, because I moved
nice.
from the East Coast to Kansas. So now that's really what it looks like. I work those Eastern hours, which would typically be 8 to 5.
Next question is, which is perfect. Are you working remotely, or do you have to go into the office?
So I work remote, but whenever they need me to travel for an opportunity, I'm there.
Do you like the travels, or do you like the kind of remote lifestyle
Yeah.
working?
Hey, being a married man, I like being remote and not having to travel.
Yeah,
Sure, my
because you
wife likes having me home more than when I travel, so I prefer being at home.
okay, awesome,
Yeah.
awesome. And I feel like remote jobs are where everyone wants to get to now.
Yes. Yep. Yep.
That's American the American dream used to be like a home,
Yep.
family, kids. Now it's
Yep.
remote job.
Yep. Remote work. Everybody wants it. Yep.
Yeah, man. So this is great. I appreciate you sharing that, and I'm glad I got to talk with you because I think this is what people want to hear. They want to know, like, hey, how can I still work but also work remotely?
Yeah.
It also has its challenges, right? I know you say 7 to 4 is your work hours, and I know you're remote. Do you feel like you always have to be on? When do you schedule a break for yourself?
Yeah, so I typically try to schedule a break during lunch, right? Lunch is a very given.
Yeah.
I'm on my lunch. Outside of that, I have to be really intentional with my schedule because a lot of different people will be schedule
Right.
sniping, right? They'll just look for my schedule, and if it doesn't have a time frame booked on it, they want it. Even if there's a 2 hour block before it, they'll book it right after. So if I don't
Really?
book a 15-minute break, I usually
Really?
won't get one. And it'll
Wow.
be a little bit more challenging to go through the day. So I try to be intentional with booking little breaks after each meeting so that I can go and go on a walk or something to clear my head. Yeah.
I know you were talking about meetings before, but I don't know if I asked this question. How many would you have in like a day?
Typically is about 3 to 5 per day, 3 to 5 meetings per day, and usually those are anywhere
Okay.
from 1 to 2 hours. And during that time, I'm the guy, right? I'm not just on the sidelines. Like I'm the guy. I'm doing the presentation. I'm driving it, and making sure everything's kind of going smoothly.
Okay,
Hmm.
that is a long time. How do you clock on and clock off when you're at home?
Yeah, there is that. I remember seeing during COVID that moving mouse little, thing that people would purchase so that it would move the cursor for them and show that they're online. Um,
I didn't know about that. I didn't know
yeah,
about
there is
that.
that. I don't have that, but it makes me think of that. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, the software that we use will be able to tell whether you're online or offline. Um, in my role, because
Okay.
you could be rehearsing without using your computer. You could be writing out your script. You could be studying certain materials. Usually,
Right.
nobody will really, hey, what are you working on? Because
Hmm.
you're usually always working on something.
Now that you brought it up, how much time do you think you need on the computer?
Between prep and actual demos, it's a good, 80% of my day, and then, you have a little bit of a break here and there. So yeah.
Do you rehearse? Do you practice rehearsing lines, or do you feel like at this point you can say it right off the top of your dome?
At first, when I started out, I
Mm.
had a script written out. I had the one-liners that I would want to stick to. I've been in this position for now over 2 years, 2.5 years, I'd say.
Wow. Wow.
Um, and it's become significantly easier. And even if there's a curveball, it's usually like, all right, you know what? That's a great question. We'll get back to you on that. Let's continue on.
I like that. I like that because I imagine because you're the specialist, you would
Yes.
feel the pressure of feeling like
Yep.
you need to know everything.
Absolutely. And you can usually reach out to whoever that sales rep is with you because it's really
Mm.
teamwork, right? I was on a call the other day and we were just getting all these great questions and great things that they wanted to see, but I was like, I just don't know. That's a great, it's great. Nobody's ever asked that.
But
And usually the client's like, "Hey, I appreciate you saying
yeah,
that you didn't know in the moment rather than
absolutely.
just being a yes man and saying that you can do everything to then find out that you can't." Right? So
Right.
they appreciate that integrity.
I love that you shared that, Matt, because I feel like in this situation, people might feel like, hey,
Hmm.
knowledge trumps humility, right? Or like
Hmm.
being honest. And I think you make a good point, or you show that still people want people they can trust, people can be honest. My next question I was going to ask you, man, is what softwares do you use? What software do you use a lot?
For specific softwares, I use, I mean, Outlook is king. You can't really brush up on Outlook, but
Yeah, it's true, true.
but OneNote, you're
Yeah,
constantly making changes to the scripts that you have. You're constantly adjusting your story, writing down who people are. You use that certainly a lot. You use Excel when you're doing any
Okay.
type of testing or on reporting or anything along those lines. You want to make sure certain things are coming out correctly. I wouldn't say you need to be an Excel guru, but
Yeah.
you're working with an accounting software, so that's something that I use as well.
Right.
And I use actually a tab. I think it's called Workona, and it's like a tab
Okay.
organizer. And what it does is, I have one tab
Mm.
list for demos, one tab list for, my admin stuff that I need to take care of, another tab list for something else, right? So I keep those separate so that when I'm doing demos, you don't
Mm.
see all of the personal stuff that I'm working on as well. You see just the demo specifically, which is very
Great. Yeah.
helpful as well.
I imagine most people that work on the computer have millions of tabs.
I'm a big tab guy. If you looked at my phone, my wife gets headaches. But on my work computer, I try to limit it to just a few, but organized. Yeah.
You know, I feel like if I can, I may get you a shirt that says "I'm a big tab guy." Okay,
I'm a big tab guy.
or a
Yeah.
hat,
Yeah.
or a hat that says "I'm a big tab guy."
Exactly. There we go. Yep.
You mentioned the
Yes. Yep.
flexibility of being remote. Do you feel like you get enough time off, and how does that work for time off?
Yeah, so it honestly hasn't changed all that much being remote. But when it comes to PTO, I find that my boss is very supportive of it. I think one of the key things that makes it difficult, right, is if I
Mm.
if I already have a demo scheduled for that day, now I need to talk to the rep to move it around, right?
Okay.
Which is a challenge. I think
Mm.
of sick days. If I
Mm.
have a big deal that I have a demo for and I have the stomach flu,
Mm.
that's going to be a hard conversation to get out of that one. So that's it's like, hey, I know we've scheduled this 2 months in advance, but I'm dying over here, So so uh, typically there's a little guilt felt in that one off of taking sick days specifically, but PTO usually is fine.
How are the clients when you reschedule? Are they like, "How dare you? I never want to have a meeting again."
Most of the time it's okay. Um,
Yeah.
and you're typically not even worried about the clients. You're worried about the sales rep that you're working with,
Got
because
you.
they're the individuals who want to push it, right?
Got you.
I want this to happen right now,
Mm.
because maybe in that example the
Right.
client is going to chew them out or something like that, right? So, um, so yeah, typically it's not a problem. The client will be like, hey, that's all right, we get
Okay.
sick. I understand. And
Yeah.
sometimes the sales rep will
And
want
in that
to
case, would they
find
just get
another.
someone else?
Exactly. So somebody might fill in for me. I might reach out to them and have them fill in. If it's really that critical, then I'll be able to find somebody else to cover.
Would you have to pass like your notes over?
They'll usually have to do the research because at that moment you're going on PTO, right? You're out sick.
Right.
Let's say you're
Right.
sick. The last thing you want to do is still work while you're sick. So you'll usually just say, hey, can you cover
Sure.
for me? If they say yes, then they're willing to take on all of the additional research that they need to do before that call to make it a success.
Oh, that's great teamwork.
Are you?
Matt, have you ever been on a call where you're like sick and like it just went bad, or you're just like,
Yep.
I gotta hold on.
Oh, yeah. So I've been on many calls that I've been sick. I think one of the calls I had a coughing fit and
Oh my
I
God.
had to have waters continuously, and I apologized many times. I think one of the times I actually coughed and spilled it all over my computer, had to go clean it up. It was a mess. Yeah. So there was that time. There was also, when you're sick, you don't feel the best, and you have a lot of, if you get brain fog, boom,
Yeah.
it's a very real thing. So I worked with a client and
Yeah.
I told them up front, right? Hey, listen, today's not my hottest day. I have a lot of brain fog. If I don't answer your question completely, please let me know. We'll write it down. We'll get it back to you. And just make it funny and interact with them because they understand you're a person. you're fighting sickness. They were probably sick within the past 2 months. They know exactly what's going on. So,
That's great. That's great. It seems like people are willing to work with you, right? Too, right?
hmm
And I guess that depends on who you are, right? If you're just like a guy that's or a woman that's like
hmm
maybe uptight or being too aggressive, whatever it may
yes,
be, I think the dynamic would be different, right? But if you're
yes,
chill, you're just trying to be friendly, trying to connect with them, it seems like it'd be okay.
yeah. And that's honestly one of the prime things of the job is you have to
Mm,
be a person who is
mm,
relatable, who is able to talk and bring people from,
yeah.
they might be frustrated in a certain process. They may not trust you. They may feel very uneasy about the whole process. Maybe they don't even want to be in that room because they were advocating against looking at your platform. And now they come
Mm,
here. And what your job is to relate to them,
mm,
is to bring them into the room, to make them feel
right.
seen, and to kind of ease their
Okay.
concerns. And
Mm,
sometimes that's agreeing with them. Hey, yeah, you're right. This implementation would take about 6 months. You are absolutely right. And that's why we have a great team that's going to walk you through it, right? We're going to make it a smooth and easy process for you. And
mm,
then afterwards, sighs of relief will come from the software, So it's like things like that where you are able to
yeah.
take somebody who may not be on your side at first and then make them into a believer.
You were working right there, okay? I
Yeah,
can
right
feel
there,
it.
right there. Switch. Yeah, yeah.
On cue, bro. On cue. I like
hmm
that. I like that. You're ready at any moment, huh? Are a lot of your meetings online?
So usually
Mm,
they're
okay.
online for me, but they might be in person for somebody else.
What's the stress level like?
I think it could vary highly, right? Because if
Yeah.
it's something that I feel very prepared on and, a product that I know really well, then it's something that it's easy to do. But if it's something that I'm just learning and trying to step out of my comfort
Mm.
zone with, then my stress level will be pretty high. Um, and on top of that, depends on how many people are in the room too. Because when you have,
Right.
and when I say in the room, it could be here physically, it could be electronic, right? But if you have like 20 people on Zoom and they're all talking or none of them are
Wow.
talking, it's just as scary, right? It's like, oh, now I'm not going to get all of their questions back to them, or nobody's interested. Everybody's checked out. So both of those scenarios are very scary. And then even if you have one person on the call who's just, very straight to the point, it's like that can be stressful as well. But all of these are kind of opportunities to,
Yeah.
just as you're trying to convince them, hey, this is what you need, you're trying to convince yourself this is not as scary. If you interact with one person and make a joke here and you get a few chuckles, oh, you go on a roll, you feel good. And now it's less stressful for you as well.
Got you. I got you. So, gotta win the crowd first, huh?
Yep, yep, absolutely. Every time.
I hit every time, huh?
Yep.
You got your jokes lined up, Matt? Is that what
Oh,
you
I
do
do.
sometimes?
I do. Oh yeah, I do. Some of them kill, man.
Some
I'll
of them.
be yeah.
I see the enjoyment though. I feel like I don't do this job, but I can see how just by talking to you, I can
Yeah,
see how there's times where you can enjoy it
exactly.
and
Yep.
there's fun and there's the exciting part of it. Thanks for sharing that, Matt. Thanks for giving me a kind of a breakdown of how the day goes, how the work
Yeah.
is. The next portion I wanted to ask you is a little bit about you and your story of how did you get to becoming a
Yeah.
solutions consultant?
So before I became a solutions consultant, I was actually a support representative for the product, right? For the investment accounting suite. And in doing that, you learn a lot. You become the resource for a lot of things. And on my team, I was one of those go-to guys. So you would run into something, you would be able to ask me what's going
Okay.
on, and then I would be able to give you an answer. Whether it was something good, something bad. I was able to kind of come back, and from coming from that role, you really gain your troubleshooting steps. You
Mm.
understand the software more deeply. I think the one thing that was missing, and I couldn't learn without this solutions consultant role, was
Mm.
why is this important to my client, right?
Mm.
Why is this affecting their day? Why is this,
Okay.
changing things? So, um, honestly, when it came down to it, my my boss at the time was like, "Hey, you might like this role where you can, step into it. You can,
Mm.
instead of troubleshooting for clients who are having a bad day, you can
Yeah.
show solutions to clients who are looking for a better day."
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, that's the flip of the coin. I
Mm.
might want to do that. And I gave it a try, and it was something that one of my coworkers said, you got handed the golden spoon, which I really do feel. So that's how I really came into being a solutions
Mm.
consultant. Somebody saw something in me, and like I said, I didn't know what this career was beforehand, but I am grateful I do now. And I think being in that troubleshooting role that I
Mm.
was in for a long time, supporting um, investment accounting is not a light subject. So during that time, it was very frustrating. I wanted to,
Sure. Sure.
I tried to quit like the area of focus that I was in, that investment accounting section, twice. I was like, you know what, this is too hard for me. I don't want to do it. The person believed in me. They were like, hey, just go for it, try it, give it another try, give it another shot. And that's where I kind of uh, I won't say developed a love for investment accounting. I mean, I don't know, but within that time, I was able to really understand a lot of
Yeah.
different aspects of investment accounting, which really set me up for success of what a solutions consultant does, because it's
Mm.
something where you don't give up, right? You continue on until you provide the best solution or path necessary for your client moving forward.
Oh, that's great. You mind me asking what some of those challenges were that you were going
Yeah.
through?
Uh, so I'm not in the background of accounting at all. So it
Yeah.
started out with property management,
Yeah.
right? I needed to learn up on that, and then learn a bit about accounting, and then investment accounting is this whole other world, right? And me, I hear investments for the first time, and I was like, wow, this is so cool. And then you understand all of the different things that go into it, right? That
Mm.
there are many different structures,
Mm.
and this is for legal things. This is for hiding money, tax money. It's for doing things in weird ways, and all of them tie back to some type of regulation or law that has been passed that you have to follow in that way.
Okay.
And it was just too much to keep up with, right? It was too
Mm.
hard to understand. And my boss said, when you first are looking at investment accounting as a whole, it's like looking at an elephant from this far away, right in front of your face. And that's what it felt like.
Yeah.
And the more I looked at
Yeah.
it and the longer I did it, the more you zoom out and see the entirety of investment accounting. And I
Mm.
think getting that first glimpse of how big it is, how many different things you have to learn,
Yeah.
um, you know,
Yeah.
it seemed overwhelming at the time. So I was like, too much for me. And
Yeah. Yeah.
somebody
Yeah.
continued to push me, and I'm grateful to this day for that.
Wow. Awesome. Well, thanks, Matt, for sharing a little bit of your story. My next section, Matt, is a little bit more real talk. Okay, we call it real talk. You know what I'm
Real
saying? But
talk.
real talk.
Yeah.
Because it's the stuff that people don't really share. If more people knew about a solutions consultant, they would hear all the good things about it. What are three things you feel like uh, you have to do almost like every day that is very
Mm,
mundane, kind of a task that would make you feel like,
yeah.
oh my goodness, I can't do this any more longer.
Number one, listening, right?
Mm.
listening is at the top.
I bet.
Because if you're not willing to listen to what the client is struggling with and you're just trying to give them a solution, usually you're going to miss the mark and they're not going to want to proceed
Mm,
with you because you haven't heard them out. The next is repetition.
mm,
This is, what are the most challenging things about your day? Sometimes listening is that first thing because you want to answer before you know the problem,
sure.
and or you hear a little snippet and you want to jump in right away.
Mm,
Um, and that's because of repetition.
mm,
You're repeating it and it becomes second nature. And then when, somebody's situation doesn't apply to it, you do it, you say it anyways because, you've just gone through the rhythm.
right,
So,
right.
and the third thing I would say is organization.
Okay.
And organization is going to be so pivotal
Mm,
and it's so tedious, right? Because in every call that I have, I want to make sure I know who the people are I'm talking to
yeah.
and do research for them. And now I have them on my dashboard. I want to know, exactly what I'm speaking to during that conversation. So if there's any outliers at all,
Right.
right, I need to be aware of it. Um, if I'm not organized, it's not going to happen,
Mm,
right?
wow, that's perfect. Those three are super perfect. What kind of passion or skills would you need? Strengths would you need in this job? And it could be those things, or it could be
Yeah.
something different.
Number one, where it started for me is the ability to problem solve,
Mm,
right? Because a lot of the time you're going to be on a demonstration. The client's going to ask you how you do something in the software, and maybe it's not a core functionality.
mm,
So you kind of got to get creative, and if there is a way to do it, you can come up with a way to do it, on the spot.
yeah.
Like, if there's a certain report that doesn't exist, but maybe I have this custom report that I can move columns around in and create exactly what they're looking for.
Mm,
It's things like that that problem solving really helps out with. And when you have takeaways from clients, you'll be able to find those, right? Look into those and come out with an answer. Another is looking for growth,
mm,
right? Because there is growth that happens in many different areas. There's growth that happens for you personally in you digging and understanding the content, but there's also growth from listening to yourself, listening to other people present,
right.
and taking things from them, taking other people's feedback. So humility should be in there as well. But because if you're looking to grow,
Yeah.
right, you've got to be able to take that feedback and learn from it.
Yeah.
And the next flows right into it, which is going to be teamwork.
Okay. Awesome.
Right. At the end of the day, if you have an answer that, or you need an answer that you don't know, right? You want to have those connections who you can reach out to and, hey, what's the answer to this question? Maybe they don't know. Maybe they can even assist you in trying to figure it out or point you to the right place after all of your problem solving has taken place on your own.
Mm.
It's technically a sales role, what we do, even though we're called pre-sales. It's technically a sales role, and sometimes there's a lot of competition with that,
I imagine.
right? With any type of sales role, there's going to be competition because you want to always, do the best.
Sure. Sure.
But in the pre-sales role, it's so calming and so helpful to have a team that you can work with. Now, I'm not saying that every company has that culture of teamwork, but it makes such a difference when I can rely on somebody else and reach out to them for a problem that I'm having, and vice versa.
Absolutely. And, I appreciate you sharing that, Matt, because I imagine there's a temptation to not want to be a part of the team, not want to work together. And so I appreciate you sharing those three passions, right? Problem solving, growth, being able to learn, to adapt, to be humble, to listen. And then the last one being part of a team. Hey, man, I have literally loved and enjoyed everything you've said. I feel like you've given a lot of information. It's been so helpful. What would be like the average pay for this job? Obviously, you can share
Yeah.
general information.
I'd say for an average solutions consultant, it'd probably be to about um, 80,000 to about 110. And on top of that, something that I haven't mentioned is that you might, depending on what company you're working with, you might also get commission. Yep.
So that's awesome. I was going to ask for dress code, but I don't.
Hey, dress code, that's real. That's
Okay,
real. My company provides a nice polo that I
okay,
could wear.
awesome.
So it's kind of my work outfit for the day,
Yeah.
you know, polo and shorts if I want.
They
But
they only got to see up
uh,
here. They only got to see up here, right?
yeah, that's it. That's it. Just don't make the mistake of getting up, you know? So you got a polo, sweaters, you know, regular shirts.
Okay.
It's really dependent on what I'm feeling for the day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Now, let's say someone did know about this job, right? And they're like a student, and now they know, right? We know now, right? Because they
Yep.
watched One on One with Christian Ryan, and they know what a
Yep.
solutions consultant is. But do you know what kind of like certificates or degrees you would have to kind of go down in order to become a solutions consultant?
It's a hard one
Yeah.
because a lot of solutions consultants that I interact with don't really have a degree for it. It's not something that they went to school for.
Right.
But usually they'll have a degree in the area of expertise that they're demonstrating,
Okay.
right? So it might be a solutions consultant who was an accountant at some point
Right.
or something like that. So um, certificates or degrees, typically it's just working in the area that you're looking to be a solutions consultant for. What I'd like to say as well is there are so many different aspects of solutions consultants
Mm.
out there. There, you know, anything that is sold essentially, especially when it comes to
Okay.
software, there's typically a solutions consultant behind there. I think of, you know, a lot of AI going on right
Yeah.
now. There's a bunch of different companies using AI in these different ways. There's solutions consultants for
Wow.
that who are going to demonstrate exactly what the product can do, how it does certain things, and make lives easier. So that's you know another venue you know that can be explored and many more.
That's so crucial that you said that, Matt, because I think some people might watch and they may feel like, hey, this doesn't apply to me, right?
Yep, that's exactly it.
And Matt, thank you so much for sharing not only your career but your life on this video with me.
Yes, thanks so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.